My 5,000 euro house is becoming a pillar of the community.
Speaking of pillars, I need to paint this deck. I told my neighbors we were gonna have a big barbecue tonight, and I want it to look nice. Of course, I started in the late afternoon, and by the time it was dark, I had finished basically nothing. The next morning, reinforcements came in the form of my neighbor Chris, who immediately started undoing some of my work with the chainsaw, but it was necessary. I'm glad he was able to do it before I got too far. After a few hours, I finished the first row. There's a lot of rows left to go. Of course, we're using stain, not paint, and that's difficult because you have to use a brush and not a roller.
We call this setup an accident waiting to happen. It's been like 7 hours. We have done that much. This is like gonna take a really long time.
The day got a little more interesting when my neighbors Patrick and Mladen came to prep for some concrete work. They're doing this to solve a problem. You see that? How are you supposed to climb up that? By building extra stairs. Their plan is to connect those stairs to a wraparound walkway that goes around the front of the house. Now everybody was working hard, but I had promised to feed these people. So I had to run into the city to pick up supplies. I went to Tommy to pick out a bunch of meats from their My Story o Gradala series. Of course, I had to go with them when they reached out because I know that this is high quality, delicious stuff. If you end up shopping at Tommy, I recommend using their loyalty program for discounts. In my case, they generously let me fill up 2 carts and sent me on my way. Now it's barbecue time.
Grill My Story.
Everyone was excited. Tommy has the best butcher, top quality in the region. Even though the deck was only half stained, we were gonna have a barbecue, dang it. This is the most people I've ever hosted in my life. Crescio brought up his whole family. Chris was there, Mario was there, Patrick, Mladen, and even a few other neighbors. This is why I wanted to build this deck. I had to have a place where I could get the community together. Now this will be nothing compared to the barbecue I'm going to throw when the project is done. Eventually, everyone went back home and we were right back to work the next morning, pouring the first layer of concrete for the path and stairs. I've lost count of how many times we've poured concrete on this project, but I'm kind of hoping that this one is going to be the last. I'm really lucky to have experts like this living around me. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. Now we leave that concrete to dry and then we pour the next step tomorrow. Yes, we're full of half-finished projects, but the pace is not going to slow down.
Follow this page to see what happens next.